Good morning, guys. Welcome to another episode 12 of the Metro Drive. And today it's going to be pretty quick. We're just going to talk about the importance of productivity. And I'm emphasizing productivity, not versus staying busy. And, a lot of people, I'm seeing a common trend of people, when they're only focused on themselves and they're not looking outwards, is when they start to have issues. I remember listening to this gentleman. He was talking about depression and how before World War II, therapist appointments and just anxiety was through the roof. Like people were, obviously they were coming up off the depression. Anxiety was through the roof. People had a lot to worry about, and they were nervous wrecks, right? Not much different than today. And the Second World War II broke out, at least when the U.S. got involved. The therapist appointments and all of the mental health workers pretty much dropped off. Like it decreased dramatically. And he's saying the purpose of that is when somebody doesn't have anything else to worry about or work on or be concerned with, then they're like, oh, let me just focus on myself. And then they start developing all of these internal things that they almost create their own conditions. And I'm not a therapist. I'm not saying that these aren't legit. I'm saying that if that time was spent, when you only have to look on your inside, why am I not happy? What's wrong with me? I feel like there needs to be more. You're going to be finding more and more things to complain about or reasons that you're not happy. Conversely, if you're productive, and I'm going to go even one step further and say you need to be helping others, looking outside yourself, it's amazing how your own problems fade away. That's why a lot of times, guys, you take someone who is inherently selfish and just selfish, they're only looking out for their own lifestyle, and they get a kid. Okay, they have a child. Well, now they have an entirely different human to care for. So their priorities change, and in turn they mature a little bit. I spoke with one of our members last night. She has lupus. And you wouldn't know. I had no idea until she told me. And she is like one of the happiest people. All smiles, didn't complain. She's been coming for every day for like a week, and I've talked to her every day. And I just found out about this. She's all smiles. She's in a lot of pain. And lupus, guys, I've known a couple people with lupus. It's no joke. And she's choosing not to dwell on what's going on with her internally. She's got 2 kids that she's caring for, and she looks out for others. One quote that really, so that's one way to not only be productive by helping others, but also be productive in general. One quote that stuck with me, I'm trying to pinpoint the book I read it in, but it's a popular quote. Ryan Gosling was talking about the problem with Hollywood, and I'm sure he's only talking about actors. The problem with Hollywood is they don't work. Like, they go and make a film and make a few $1 million or tens of $1 million. Good morning, Jeremy. And they make tens of $1 million, and then they're on hiatus till the next Avengers movie or whatever comes out. And so I think Ryan was actually quoted with that when he got a job at like a lunch shop or a cafe or something. And he was saying people in Hollywood don't work. And so they don't work, so they focus on themselves. So they do drugs, or they do things like, they get into these self-destructive cycles because they're not actually being productive. They may have stages of productivity, but their whole life isn't goal-oriented towards productivity. And again, I'm going to add in there charity and helping out others. Obviously, it's not universal. There are plenty of actors who are philanthropists, things like that. But the second you're only focusing on yourself, and the second that you don't care about others, and the second that it's all of the world revolves around you, and why aren't these people doing more to help me, and pity poor me, and nobody loves me, everybody hates me, you need to change that mindset. And I would say it can be as simple, guys, trust me when I say this, it can be as simple as taking the time to just extend a little bit, start with something small. I went with my wife to the zoo. Okay, and I was having a good day because I I was going to the zoo with my wife, and we love the Toledo Zoo. And I was having a good day, so I started my day off. I was like, look, Tim Hortons, I don't like this Tim Hortons. Typically, Tim Hortons is not as good as Bigby, and I told them that. I was like, guys, look, I've had a really bad Tim Hortons experience. Can you make me a good coffee? I really need that this morning. So we drive around, I try the coffee, and they killed it. They knocked it out. I was like, I'm walking in, and Amanda didn't know I was walking in. So I walk up to the counter, I was like, yo, who made this coffee? And they all thought I was the disgruntled customer. And so sheepishly, I think they were trying to throw her under the bus. The manager or something was like, I think the new girl made it. I was like, the new girl made this? He's like, yeah, is everything all right with that? I was like, where's she at? She killed it. And the whole staff just started roaring. They thought they were in trouble, yada, yada. We get to the zoo. And this, I'm going to call him 12, 13-year-old. We're walking through, they're corralling you through whatever. And he holds the door for me. And I was like, oh, I got it, brother. I'll get it. Thank you, though. He's like, oh, cool. Thank you so much. I don't hear adults say manners. So I find his mother. I was like, hey, where's your mom at? I talked to her. I was like, hey, this young man is the first young man I've heard use manners, in a long time. And she's like, what? She couldn't believe it. She went out, you would have thought I gave her $100. So just a $100 bill right there. She was, thank you so much. Oh, my goodness. I can't believe this. We worked so hard, yada, yada. Guys, it's little things like that you'd be surprised what a difference they make, especially because you don't know what everyone's going through. You don't know what everybody's going through, so a little bit of kindness goes a long way, and a little bit of charity goes a long way, and a little bit of productivity, I'm calling it productivity, but charity, they go hand in hand, goes a long way. So, yes, you have your goals. Everyone's got their goals. But if you're only focused on yourself and you don't care about anybody else, it's a dangerous place to be in. And so take that, implement that today, share some kindness, add some productivity into your schedule. And as always, I will see you guys on the mats.